Hello, everyone. This is Daniel, and I have a message for you. So, as you can tell, Jesus is not who you think he is. He is a ruler of the universe. As you can tell, he has an empire. He rules the entire universe, as I said, and his empire is literally something like over 1,000 miles. His building is like several miles long, and he has like millions and billions of angels beyond what we can imagine. Matter of fact, the angels are so tough, it's probably worth wondering, how tough is God? He's not a nut in a nutshell. The angels are not the nutshell. He's actually the God that causes disasters and earthquakes. Matter of fact, he is so tough with you that he knows what we're like inside, so he has to be loving towards us. But he is so tough that if he he were to separate himself from us, he would break our hearts, and then we would die. And of course, that's what happened to Sapphira and Ananias. Jesus took their life. He takes the lives of those who are not his and who are greatly evil, because he wants to protect heaven. He has a duty to do, and that duty is to protect heaven. So what is the other side of him? He is perfect. He is with justice, but he's also very much loving. So in order to do that in his perfection, his love is very, very much beautiful. But with love only, as a person that saved us in the salvation and said, "Oh, we are full of grace, and everyone's full of grace, and there's no need to worry." That's what Jesus says. That guy is the Antichrist. That guy is the Antichrist. He says, "Do not worry, you'll be saved through Jesus Christ, and I am the Jesus that will save you." And he will also say that you are basically that he is basically like a servant, but no, he is a king, and you are the servants. We are the servants, and he is a king. And basically, his tone of voice may be shocking to you sometimes, but one time he yelled at me, not because of what I was doing now, and when I repented, basically, I don't know if that was the case, but he literally yelled at me really harshly. I should have paid more attention, because if I did, I would have been weeping in the shower. So he told me that basically I should have died. I should have died. And the fact is, I would have still been in this kingdom, I guess. I don't know. But I should have died. The fact that I almost took someone's spiritual life because of my witchcraft, yet like in my past. I'm a true Christian, don't worry. But because of my witchcraft in my past, and basically I was rebellious, and he changed me. But that's not always what he's all about. He's not going to change everyone, nor what they do. So we have one filthiness in us, one spot in us that is, as you can see, like one of those. I can't. So you can't see it. Same spot like this. As you can see, hopefully, anything like that. So if you see any spot or a wrinkle like these in the gown, he's not going to accept you. He really is not going to accept you. He says, if you don't do any of the littlest of the commandments, tough, and he will not take you. And by going to a church that is not true, maybe it's Pentecostal, maybe it's evangelist, maybe it's dictating words other than the source of God, that church will not be saved unless he chooses someone else from the church and they are to leave, because that church will be doomed. And he's the one that dooms the church. That is false. There's so many churches in America that are, not that are not true. I mean, several thousand. I'm guessing that several thousand types of churches. And of course, I would say that there is like I don't know. Like I would say 100,000 churches in America, even more. Yeah, there. You know what? No, over that. 500,000 churches in America. There are 500,000 churches in America. And of course, if I were to choose, only 1,000 of them. Actually, no. 500 of them would be true. 500 churches in America would be true. Matter of fact, less than that. So, yeah. And that's the sad truth, is that so few churches in America are true, and yet many of them are. Many of the churches that are non-denominational, many of them are not true, and they have different opinions. Many churches in, basically churches in other denominations, the greatest vast majority of them are not true. Catholics, they're more right in some regards than everyone else, but some regards, like few of them. Then there's the Gnostics, which they're a little more righteous than the Catholics, and Catholics are a little more righteous than everyone else. But in some regards, the Roman Catholic Church, that can also be really messed up in some ways. Like the way they treat Christ, basically the way that some people treat Christ, like I'm this peasant, I'm not, yeah. Saying that you're a peasant and that you actually are, that's a good thing. That's really a good thing. But telling that I'm telling you guys that you're a peasant and you're actually a king, that's a bad thing. And if you are a king, you're supposed to be very much rough with those who are your enemies. You're supposed to smite your enemies with a ruling rod or a sword. That's what God does. He even smites people that are his enemies, even though he loves them. And then there's actually and then there's the fact that there's like several million people will be in heaven, but if you recall just right, that 144,000 those people are very few and far in between. They're very, very, they're very, very few and far between. And there are, just Jews, I think there's one person that is around today who that is part of 144,000. I don't know who he is yet. But I keep hearing interesting thoughts about that kind of stuff. Kind of interesting thoughts about that kind of stuff, yes, like I said. So basically, who are the 144,000? I know that the what do we call them? The two witnesses are the part of 144,000. They're just two of them. They're part of it. I bet there's 3 right now, 4, whatever you can call them. So And they're just people that really smash idols. And by the way, Jesus was not joking. Jesus was the one that would completely rip open the idols by wood. Every idol that is around, you'd even burn money. That's an idol. You burn down a really big mansion on Earth. You burn down, you burn down Babylon. You burn down some Gomorrah and destroyed everyone there, except for someone else. That was Lot and someone else. Maybe only Lot made it. And by the way, don't be joking yourself, because God will probably do the same thing to you if you don't take him seriously. Let's carry on. So he basically he smashed idols, he destroyed buildings, he basically destroyed a part of the temple that had many changes. He didn't destroy his own temple, unless it was he only destroyed false temples. But when you consider the Catholic Church basically chased out and destroyed all the items in the church, because if the Pope owned all that gold and all that, and he had all that resources and all that, all of his resources would be gone, and the building would be left with a few mild cracks because of how violent he was, and he would not be happy. He would be so unhappy. And then suddenly that building of the Pope would be this person who finally chased everyone out and destroyed Mary and the statue of Mary, destroyed the statue of the Father, destroyed therapies, and caused his army to destroy the front part of the building and basically pillaged the entire building of the Pope. But he didn't do that, no did he? Because that's basically the end time building, I believe. I don't know if that's true, but if that's the Antichrist, and that is the end time building. That's the end time building, so be prepared. And there's Babylon that he will completely destroy, utterly destroy. That's a spirit, but also all the stuff on the fancy wood, the lights, and the fancy drawings back there. And you can't see it, but let's show it to you. Let's say a printer, that's probably gone too, but and the fancy leather curtain right there, and this fancy curtain. All that stuff would be factorily. All the factory stuff would not be able to work. All the factories that made the fancy stuff, those would be destroyed by God, by Jesus. And of course, he's going to rule this world with a whole entire empire the size of, I don't know, part of the United States. I don't mean small part. I mean from Massachusetts to Florida, like that big. It's cube size, so it's going to be a huge, huge kingdom. I mean, literally, he's an empire the size of no one can imagine. I don't think even I can imagine in my dreams, and that was with God. And somehow my feet, I said that his feet were so small, that's futuristic, but I'll probably be so judged on that throne, that I'll be as feet thinking about nothing else but my judgment. As feet will be normal size again, but that's me just weeping because of how much his judgment. It's like your spiritual life has been taken away. It's like he murdered your spiritual body, but he didn't. But then, turns out I made it through. So yeah, Jesus really roughs out. Jesus really roughhouses. He's not always forgiving of everyone because certain things he will not forgive, like mocking the Holy Spirit. Of course, he did make himself like weak body, flesh. He did come in the flesh. But when he died in the flesh, he just came back to spirit, and 40 days later, he is in heaven. But let me tell you something: no one's in heaven right now. Only Jesus and his angels. And that's all I can say. That some of the angels are building the mansions. They're building the kingdom. I mean, that's real kingdom right there. That's a real size kingdom. And of course, the angels are also bringing out messages. It's the second one. And third thing, warriors. I believe there's only 3 types of angels. One to build, one to bring messages, and one to build and to serve as cleaning mates. One is to bring messages, and the other, basically warriors. And Jesus is a true warrior. He really is a true warrior. He is also one of the most beautiful gods. He is one of the most beautiful God like you can ever have. So he is all kinds of judging, and he is all kinds of loving. Judgment on his own accord is around him, wrapped around him. And that same amount is around his love. And he is not on top of judgment. Judgment is all around him. And the fact that he can curse, he can bless, he has a choice for everything. So if you were born with him not really giving you, if you were born just as Jesus created you, if you were created to not be blessed or anything like that, if you were born to be cursed, then you were born to be cursed. Basically, he will basically, basically curse you at birth as a person of death. He chooses. And I'm one of the more blessed people because I was born to be with God and in his kingdom. Some people were born cursed to be with God, but with a false God. Some people were born cursed to absolutely hate God. So, in the fourth, that's basically, no one can move God out of the way. Yes, they can move him emotionally, but they can't move him out of the way. They can't say, oh, he's too loving to do this, he's too loving to do that, because he's already on the verge of destroying this planet. Remember that, folks. He will absolutely annihilate part of this planet and then turn it into his kingdom. Remodeling is coming. Remodeling is absolutely coming. And he will destroy a whole bunch of this planet. And I'm sorry if I told you about hell and all that. I'm sorry if I offended you, but this is a wake-up call because this is who the Antichrist is. The Antichrist is the one that absolutely blesses everyone that comes to him as a curse. He doesn't understand it's a curse, but he says, "I'm the one that's Jesus," and he says all the right things about Jesus in their minds. And you know how Jesus is the forgiver. He is the one that talks in the music. How he talks in the music, in Christian music, you are you are amazingly forgiven, and you are wonderfully forgiven. That's what the Antichrist will say. He will absolutely say that. A lot of people will be cursed because of that. But Jesus, he does not say you are forgiven. He will say you pass. That's all you. That's all he will say. He'll say, "Enter." That's all he will say. And of course, basically, he will say to very few, "Come and enter. Come hither and enter." And he will say to many, "I do not know you. Depart from me." And they will say, "How do you not know me?" And he will say, You did not feed me. You did not clothe me. You did not visit me in prison. Depart from me." And they will depart. They will absolutely depart. If you think Jesus forgives, he does, but only to those who really believe in him and the true way of Jesus. Jesus only forgives those who really know him. And another thing he will forgive you of if you come close to him, and only if he knows you. Get this hint. Listen carefully, guys. He will really, he will bring you to heaven only if you talk to him and know him daily. Only if he is absolutely in your life and completely talks to you like I'm talking to you. Like he is your best friend, and he is your best father. He is your husband, and he is like your husband. And you talk to him like a husband on earth every time. Absolutely 100%. So, this is serious, guys. There are people that say, "Oh, the Bible is meant for forgiveness." Yes, it is. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it is. Because Jesus said, "Lord, forgive them, for they don't know what to do." But he also said, "Lord, Lord, why have you forsaken me?" He said, "Why have you forsaken me?" And he knew that he was perfect, but he had forsaken Jesus before. And then Jesus became the Lord of the household. And now, basically, he will forsake those that take the world's cross. That's the world's cross, guys. Listen carefully. He will forsake those who has taken the world's cross. And to take heaven's cross is to do your duty. Do your very heavy duty. It's Call of Duty, guys. This is military work. But many will give up because they have given up on their own spiritual life. This is real Call of Duty, guys. Heaven, heaven's not waiting. Heaven is not waiting. It will open its doors, and that'll be that. But also do know that Jesus dearly loves you. He does not want anyone to perish. But he's a tough God. He is tougher than the devil, yet not as angry as the devil. Not even close. The devil's not even as close as tough as God. Not even close. There are many contraries to the devil and God, but people don't see what they are. That's scary to me. That really is.